I wasn't supposed to touch anything that belonged to the Whitakers. That was the rule taped to every corner of that house, whether you could see the tape or not. But when I bent to pick up a little mermaid doll from the floor of a pink bedroom that was too quiet for a 6-year-old, I heard it. Did you really think someone like you could touch my daughter's things? I'm Talia Brooks, and that was the moment a wig rewrote the rules in Cedar Ridge. He stood in the doorway, in a suit too crisp for a Saturday, the kind of man who donates benches to parks and expects his name on the plaque by lunch. Graham Whitaker Property Developer Club favorite. The smile he practiced for ribbon cuttings gone sharp around the edges. People like you always have excuses ready, he said. And I felt the way you feel when a storm arrives. On the one day you hung the laundry outside, I set the doll on the pillow. I kept my eyes level, I said, "Yes, sir, I'm finished here." Then I walked out with my spine intact and a recorder warm against my collarbone. I did not choose this work because I love polishing quartz. I used to log footage at a TV station, writing lines. Nobody noticed, learning how a story lives or dies depending on where you point the camera. Then life leaned on me the way life does. Rent wanted answers before my dreams could. So I took the jobs that pay today, mansions on hills with kitchens bigger than my apartment, and I learned which plates are for company and which truths are for company. You know what I mean. 11 cleaners in 6 months at the Whitaker house, every one of us, black or Latina, the white girl before me, shattered a platter and got a gentle talk about mindfulness. I put a doll on a bed and got a lecture about boundaries. Patterns are loud when you write them down, so I wrote them down, dates, times, rules that only applied to us. I called my little folder Project Lantern, because if people insisted on doing their dirt in the dark, I was bringing a light. Rosa Alvarez had worked in that house longer than the paint. She said the thing that kept me from sleeping. That child is lonely. Talia, she sits by the window counting cars, keeps asking when her curls are coming back. The word curls unlocked a memory. I keep in a box my mother. After an experimental drug, a neighbor named Miss Pearl easing a soft brown wig onto her head, the mirror giving my mother back to me for a minute, the room letting us breathe the kind of kindness you don't forget even when you try. I didn't want revenge that tastes good for a day and rots your mouth after I wanted justice that looks like care. So I called my cousin Jade from Channel 9 reporter with a stomach for receipts and a heart for people. "Bring me something real," she said. When I told her I had audio emails, screenshots from a private group with the polite name Heritage Circle, Culture and Comfort, and fit all the pretty words people use when they mean something else, she whistled and said, "Millionaire lawyers bite, we need a clean center," and I said, "The center is a little girl, a father, hiding behind race because he cannot face his own failure. A wig that tells the truth without a speech." We set it like a table, simple steps. Saturday at 10, Graham at the golf club, pretending to relax while he checks his stocks every 8 minutes. Rosa leaves the kitchen door unlatched. Jade gives me 2 tiny cameras, one clipped inside my cardigan, one in the tote by the wig box, a body mic under my collar, backup batteries, consent forms for Rosa and for me, and a prayer, because where I'm from, we invite God to our mess like we invite family early and with a spare key. When I stepped into that kitchen, the counters were shining, and the bowl of green apples looked perfect and tasted like nothing. Rosa called up the stairs. "Ellie, I have a friend who wants to meet you." She came down, careful, shy, and brave in unicorn pajamas, scarf a little off-center. Big eyes that had seen too many white ceilings. She studied me, my braids, the way I knelt so we were the same height. Then she asked the question children use to cut fog. Why did my dad say people like you can't work here? I told her the truest thing I could say without breaking her heart. Sometimes grown-ups say things that aren't true when they're scared or proud or both. We can be kind anyway. You want to try something? I opened the box, honey blonde curls, not pageant big, just soft and light, cut to sit like sunshine. She touched it with both hands. Looked at Rosa. Looked at me, Can. I only if you want, I said. She untied the scarf, the room held its breath. I set the wig, adjusted the combs, smoothed the front with my thumb, the way Miss Pearl did for my mother. Rosa brought the mirror. Ellie's shoulders rose like she remembered how to inhale. "It's me," she whispered. And I swear, the mirror smiled back. She turned, she laughed. She danced on that soft rug, and my camera saw joy. That's the thing about truth, it shows. And then the front door opened. Some men announced themselves with their key. His sounded urgent. He came in with weather on his face, a deal gone sideways, a bruise on his ego. Ellie ran the way kids run when they forget they're supposed to be small. "Daddy, look!" She skidded to a stop, curls bouncing. He froze like the house had grown teeth, his eyes cut from her to me, to the tote. What is she doing here? The temperature dropped even with the AC off. I stayed still. Because stillness isn't weakness, it's a strategy I came to give your daughter. "A good day," I said. He stepped forward, jaw tight. "People like you have no right to be near my child." There it was again, like a record stuck, people like me. Ellie looked at him, looked at me. "Why are you yelling at Talia? She made me happy." The cameras caught it. Happiness doesn't lie on camera, you know. "Call the police," he told Rosa like she was a blender. She didn't move. I reached into the tote and he started toward me. I pressed play on a small speaker, and his own voice rolled into the foyer. "We don't want elements that could negatively influence our children." My voice on the recording, asking what elements his voice sang. The part people with a conscience don't say out loud. In my other hand, printed emails from Heritage Circle threads: "Fits our family, maintains comfort, preserves tradition, tidy until you hear it spoken." He reached, I stepped back. "Copies," I said. "Originals are safe." "You can't prove anything," he said, meaning, "I hope the world believes me more than you." "Actually," said a voice from the doorway, "we can." Jade walked in with a camera operator and a sound guy, and the kind of calm that makes bullies reconsider. "Good afternoon, Mr. Whitaker, Channel 9. A few questions about your hiring practices and a group known as Heritage Circle." He pointed at the door like a cartoon king. "Get off my property, I'll sue." "On what grounds?" Jade asked. "Telling the truth, you wrote yourself," and Ellie squeezed my hand and said, "The line that would run the internet, ragged." "Daddy, why are you mad at someone who made me happy?" "Yeah, that happened." The clip went everywhere by dinner, 300,000 views, and a hashtag nobody planned. By Sundays, my former cleaners spoke on record. By Tuesday, sponsors called to step away from Whitaker. Development press releases said values and community and inclusive future. Bingo, the county civil rights office opened an investigation. Private preference got translated into harm. You can measure settlements were discussed. Apologies drafted with the sincerity of a weather report. The money helped some families breathe, and a new group chat. Rosa started, helped us all find each other, sharing contracts, sharing boundaries, sharing courage like soup, hot and plenty. Ellie didn't stay in that big house. A judge watched video of a child ignored and listened to a father talk about brand and exposure. Like cameras are the sin, temporary custody went to Rosa, while he did parenting classes and treatment compliance. I visited with consent in writing, because we don't do miracles without paperwork. Some days, Ellie wore the wig, some days she didn't. The choice mattered. On Sundays, we made pancakes, shaped like letters, and found words we liked. Brave, soft, fierce curl. When treatment ended, and her hair came back in half moons. She kept the wig on a shelf beside the mermaid, not a reminder of sickness, a souvenir from the day joy won a foyer. Life bent toward better. Jade's station hired me as an associate producer. Turns out a woman who can run a floor steamer can run a segment. Same workflow, less soap. We built a series called House Rules about the invisible labor that keeps cities standing. We put a hotline at the end and heard stories that could break you and mend you. In the same minute men wrote in, too, I saw myself, and I didn't like it. I'm going to therapy, laugh if you want. I took it as proof shame is loud, but not the only tool. 2 years later, I sat in a folding chair in a cafeteria under paper sunflowers. The principal called names. Kids waved the wrong way, then the right way. Ellie crossed the stage with a Courage Award for an essay titled, Why Different People Can Be Friends, Gold Beret. Bigger smile, she shoved a drawing into my hands. 3 figures holding hands, floral dress like mine, Rosa's big earrings, a small figure with a gold scribble for hair. Family, she said, like it was a fact. You coming for pancakes? Sunday, always. If you want a neat epilogue, where the man says sorry and we clap, that's a movie. The truth is, he showed up to supervised visits in a polo 2 sizes too small and a smile that couldn't pick a lane. He tried a joke, tried an expensive gift, got shut down, cried once, kids don't lie about tears. I ran into him months later in aisle 5, staring at peanut butter like it owed him money. He looked smaller, not thinner, smaller. Thank you for helping Ellie, he said, not. I'm sorry, not. I was wrong, just that. Do you think she'll forgive me? That depends on who you are when she's old enough to remember, I said. He laughed once, ugly and honest. I deserve that. Be better. I told him I don't know who he'll be next year. I do know the point was never to destroy a man. It was to build a world where a kid's joy is protected by policy, not whim. So let's talk. Is I too soft? Too hard? What does justice look like when harm wears a suit and smiles for the camera? Do second chances matter? Or are consequences the only language power understands? Where have you seen your own heritage circle? At work, at church, at your family table? And what did you do when you saw it? Drop your take in the comments. Tell your story. If you have one, hit subscribe for more receipts. With heart, share this with someone who swears standards are colorblind. And if this made you mad in a good way, consider supporting a local worker advocacy group. Sometimes karma needs us to clock in.